One important aspect of media and audiences is fandom. So let's take a journey through the history of fandoms and consider their social and cultural impact. First off, though, what exactly is a fandom? We've already talked about subcultures in this course. Fandoms are a specific type of subculture. They are subcultural communities built around shared enjoyment of and dedication to a particular aspect of popular culture or a specific media product or franchise. American football fans meeting up with fellow fans of their favorite team or playing fantasy football. Harry Potter fans writing fan fiction or creating fan art. Anime fans attending conventions, cosplaying as their favorite characters. These are all examples of fandoms and the type of activities these communities engage in. What sets members of a fandom apart from casual fans is their active participation in a community. Media theorist Henry Jenkins, who has written extensively about fandoms, sees them as an important part of what he calls participatory culture. In participatory culture, media users are active participants in the media they consume rather than simply passive audience members. Some of the ways members of a fandom participate in a subculture include attending conventions or other events, cosplaying, creating fan fiction or fan art, petitioning media companies to renew or revive TV series or films, and interacting with other members of their fandom on social media. While social media in many ways defines contemporary fandoms actually existed long before the advent of social media. One of the earliest examples of a fandom was a community of fans of Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes novels. Sherlock Holmes fans organized public protests, taking to the streets in black armbands when Holmes was killed in Doyle's 1893 novel, The Adventure of the Final Problem. Holmes fans also wrote some of the first fan fiction. Beginning in the 1930s, science fiction fandoms began to take off. Fans of science fiction novels would attend conventions along with legendary sci-fi writers like Ray Bradbury and Isaac Asimov. Contemporary media fandoms, though, can really be traced back to the Star Trek fandom. Fans of the original Star Trek TV series, or Trekkies, would attend conventions dressed as characters like Spock, Kirk, or Uhuru. They also wrote fan fiction and engaged in a letter writing campaign to stop the cancellation of the show before the third season. Fast forwarding to the 1990s, the advent of home internet allowed members of fandoms to communicate with other fans on message boards and share their fan fiction and fan art. Large fandom communities developed around TV series like Xena, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Twin Peaks, Star Trek Next Generation, and Babylon 5. One notable form of fan fiction that developed during this era was slash fiction, in which fans would create stories featuring same-sex romantic relationships between characters that were, or at least assumed to be, heterosexual in official media. This provided an important space for LGBTQ plus fans who didn't see themselves reflected in the mostly heterosexual worlds of their favorite shows. The development of Web 2.0, which includes social media, further fueled the growth of fandoms. With social media, it became even easier for fans to interact with other members of their fandoms, as well as media companies and producers. Platforms like YouTube and Instagram have allowed fans to share their fan fiction, art, and films with a wide audience. Fans have also worked to create collaborative resources like Wikipedia for Star Wars and Memory Alpha for Star Trek. These are comprehensive resources on all the canonical media pieces in these franchises. These developments have meant that consumers of media have increasingly also become producers of media. Henry Jenkins uses the term prosumers to indicate this shift. In recent years, fandoms have moved from a subcultural phenomenon into the mainstream, with a growing number of people attending conventions or interacting with fellow fans on social media. It's important then to consider the impact of fandom on the cultural and media landscape. On one hand, fandoms have facilitated the formation of community, creating a sense of belonging for fans who would otherwise have been isolated in their interests. Fandoms have also allowed for fans to organize and stop media companies from canceling series, or pressure them to revive series that have already been canceled, or forcing them to make changes to their products. For example, fans of the series Firefly were able to pressure Fox into making a feature film, Serenity, that continued the story from the canceled series. Similarly, fans unhappy with the ending of Mass Effect 3 pressured BioWare to release a DLC packet with a revised ending. However, fandoms have also enabled aggressive behavior and harassment via social media. Star Wars fans unhappy with The Last Jedi, for example, aggressively harassed director Rian Johnson and actress Kelly Marie Tran on social media, often employing racist and sexist language in their attacks on Tran. These kinds of incidents have raised questions over whether the increased influence of fans over media producers is necessarily a positive development. So, do you consider yourself to be part of a fandom? If so, how do you participate in this fandom?